Hello everyone. Today I'm doing a part 2 of the previous video about revealing Israel and how the Lord is Israel and the king over Israel, and Israel is his people, the saved people, that is the church. So I'm going to start off with Psalms 89 verse 18 to 19. For the Lord is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our King. And thou speakest in vision to thy Holy One, and sayest, I have laid help upon one that is mighty. I have exalted one chosen out of the people. So right here we recognize that this would be Jesus Christ, or also known as Emmanuel Christ. And then we go to Psalms 89, verse 26 to 32. He shall cry unto me, Thou art my Father, my God, and the rock of my salvation. Again, when he said, I shall build my church upon this rock, he was not referring to Peter, but himself. He is the rock. He is the salvation. He is the King of Israel and the only God. And he calls his people Israel. And it's very important that we really start to recognize this, because there's a lot of churches that do not recognize Israel, or say that Israel, God turned his back on Israel, and now he's, the light for the Gentiles, and this is not true. He brought the Gentiles into the covenant of Israel, but you should recognize yourself as a child of Israel when you're saved by the Lord. Also, I will make him my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. If his children, verse 30 of Psalms 89, if his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes, his ways, and keep not my commandments, then I will visit their transgression with a rod, and their iniquity with stripes. So right here we see that just believing on him is not enough. You have to follow his laws, follow his commandments, and the Bible does tell you what his laws are and what his commandments are. It says, seek first God, but he is the God of Israel. So seek first God, and then, understand, if you seek God of Israel, everything else will fall into place. If you just seek God without the Israel part, then you're going to be somewhat blinded, because you're not going to recognize that both are one. And referring to the tree, that the Gentiles, the branches grafted into the tree, and again, he is the God of Israel, he is the root. But let's continue on to see more how much of that is true. Now we go into Isaiah chapter 49, verse 5 through 7. And now saith the Lord, that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Israel again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. And he said, It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Israel. To raise up the tribes of Israel. This is not something that is done away with later on. We Gentiles who believe in the Lord become Israel, and we help raise up Israel. We help to build up his church, his congregation. We are no longer Gentiles. We're no longer the outcasts. Once we have his blood and believe in him, and then he becomes our people. We become his people, he becomes our God. And so then if we become his people, what's the name of his people? It's not Christian, Catholic, or any of these other names out there. It is only Israel. So it's very important that we understand our purpose for the Lord and his plans. And it says to raise up the tribes of Israel, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So the Gentiles are to be his salvation unto the ends of the earth, but we would really understand that he gives the light to the Gentiles so that the people who truly know their God will be jealous and recognize that, hey, there's a difference here between people calling Christ their God but not caring about Israel. And then the people that are Gentiles who open their eyes and recognize that they are part of that house, they are part of Israel, and they help bring in the people to the marriage. That's the whole point of the marriage. It's not that he went to the Gentiles, made them their light, and forgot about Israel. It talks about raising up Israel so that the Gentiles can raise up Israel and they would be one with Israel, the branches that were grafted in.